Thank you for tuning in. Welcome back. I want to review another of my favorites. I'm a huge Doctor Who fan and have been since a very early stage in my life. I believe I can cryptically say for 4 decades, 4 decades, I've been a big Doctor Who fan. Well, I started out very curious because I didn't know what the hell it was. And then it was sort of disappeared from my viewing and then came back. And it came back, not known by me, a kid the new kid in school who was kind of nerdy and wanted to talk. He had asked, I think he had detected my nerd pedigree. and of course, thought, okay, does he know? And I don't know whether he was informing me or saying it so he could get a read to see if I was in fact a Doctor Who fan. You know, it send out nerd radar. And I thought, oh, okay, what is that? I didn't know what it was. I'd forgotten all about it. Then he mentions, oh, it's on local PBS. I have, no, okay. Yeah, I remember what that, yeah, okay. No, I don't know. Well, okay, great. I started looking at it again because I was curious. It was lame. I'm going to go and check and make sure that it's lame. And I checked, and it was kind of lame, I guess, but that's your first look at it. And I ended up watching the whole episode, I think. I don't remember exactly what it was. I have a suspicion of one. I've got images of something that I was watching, but it could have been just any of the, number of times in that early stage that I watched what it was. It was all Tom Baker. And it almost certainly, I started watching an episode and then turned it off and then went back to it or changed the channel and went back to it. And I kept going back to it. And then I went back to it the next day or another day or, another week. Eventually just kept turning back to it. I think I had resigned that, no, this is all right. Yeah, I like this. And it's different. I always liked something a little bit different. And it was almost a badge of courage to watch something that generally everybody else thought was lame. Because then you could look a little bit, well, I see beyond what you find problems in this show. Oh, yes, well, you're only looking for special effects. Well, yes, then you would go and watch a movie. But this, on an interesting budget, as they get creative with their effects and ideas and concepts and stretching budgets. And it's much more interesting to watch the characters. Yeah, but some of those characters are really lame. Well, these characters might be lame, but these characters, you get very, pretentious. But there is an immediate reaction that it's lame, and so you want to kind of defend that. There is something good about it. And at the time I was watching, the show was probably 15 years old, probably in the neighborhood of 15 years old, a 15-year running series. And at least in its home country, was wildly popular for most of that time, if not the entirety of that time, in its own way. It's odd when you have a show from a completely different country and there's a lot of cultural barriers. I liked it. Anyway, I loved the fact that the show came back. The show came back after a long period of, we're not going to make this show anymore. And it came back with wonderful fanfare, and it kept going from, in my mind, strength to strength for quite some time, at least to the beginning of Stephen Moffat's run as the showrunner and man behind the show. 2010, I think it's a good 5-year stretch of it going from generally strength to strength. And I thought one of the best periods in time for me. I know there is a wild disagreement in this era to one degree or another. Catherine Tate, English comedian and actress Catherine Tate, was brought on to be a one-off and then came back to be a full-time regular for an entire season, and I thought she was fantastic. I didn't know what to think when she showed up. I heard online she's a comedian, and you know, she's a comedian that some people find hilarious and some people find you know lame. For my money, I hadn't seen any of it. I had gone back and I've seen her first season of the Catherine Tate show. I think she's pretty funny. I probably like it in part because I've already seen her in Doctor Who. I think she's a strong performer. She is funny. I do like the fact that Donna is a bit, you know, she's not impressed by all this Martian nonsense, as you know, she likes to refer to the Doctor as Martian when she first shows up. Spaceman, space boy. You know, she calls him spaceman, which is endearing. It's kind of dumb. She'll call people Dumbo, and that, you know, the actress is about my age, which was very sweet to see again. I don't think I watched the show at any point in time when the companion character, when there was any character really my age, at least representative of my age. Maybe Adric, and of course Adric has his own baggage with the fans in some ways. So to be watching again and have a son who watches and have a character that is my age bracket and I kind of identify with, for better and for worse, was extremely refreshing. But yeah, I don't know what they do say in England necessarily, but I suspect Dumbo is not big on the list of insults. I'm sure they weren't trying to make her the everyman. You know, whatever the lingo of the day was, you didn't really want to use, because then it just sort of dates itself almost immediately. So if she says things that are a bit of a stretch, like Dumbo, Spaceman, and you know, stuff like that, you know what? I think it works really, really well. She's bold, she's brassy, she speaks her mind, and sometimes when she shouldn't, she sometimes approaches from a position of back the hell off. She will defend something she feels very strongly about, or a person that she is very concerned about. I admire that greatly. It's just a show. Yeah, it's a show about a time travel machine that's in a wooden box. Don't take it too seriously. But Doctor Who fans have been known to do. Star Trek fans have been known to take things so seriously. Firefly fans get really emotionally wrapped up with those characters. Star Wars fans, it's all over the place. I'm sure it's not really specific to sci-fi. I'm sure there's people who got wrapped. Well, soap operas. Soap operas are a very good example. You're going to get wrapped up in the characters. I thought Donna was fantastic. She was a temp, and for a long time I had been a temp, and I had a lot of long-term assignments, but there was always this feeling of, am I missing out on something? Did I make the right move? Am I where I'm supposed to be? Am I delaying something, or am I preventing something? Or am I making the right path? So all of that, you know, insecurity and sometimes brash defensiveness in that, you know, you see someone, Catherine Tate, I think she could be an honorary Italian. I thought it was wonderful. I didn't have the same baggage as UK fans did. I was wary. I had seen online that this is horrible. This is going the wrong direction. Of course, this did come after Billie Piper leaves the series, and she made a huge, huge splash with the fans as Rose. And the show came back with strength and maintained this strong connection with fans, new fans, people who had never watched Doctor Who before. it was in part certainly Christopher Eccleston and the strength of having David Tennant take over as the character, as the Doctor. In no small feat was Billie Piper's making a connection with the fans and having people like. So your next person, like Doctor Who, when the actor playing the Doctor leaves, you hate the idea that he's leaving. And whoever the unfortunate bastard is taking over, your initial reaction is certainly skeptical. How is this going to work? Especially when it's different, really different. How is that going to work? How do you accept that? You don't. And much like I did when I started watching the show, I'm going to see how lame this is. I'm going to confirm my suspicions. Yeah, you know what? I was right. See, it's nothing like the way it used. Okay, well, this part's okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, I can see how my guy, the previous guy, would have done this. Okay, it's a little different, sure. You know what? I like this. And my previous guy, that's something they wouldn't done, but that fits. There's this blossoming of appreciation, and before you know it, you love this one, the next one, more than you did the last one, and then he leaves the series. Well, the next guy's not going to be able to do it. It's this cycle, and it certainly, to a certain extent, it happens with the companions, the guest, not the guest, but the co-star, the other lead. So Billie Piper leaves. You're not going to accept who's ever next. Plus, Catherine Tate, and the way she played the character, and as she was known, well, love her or hate her. How's that going to work for Doctor Who? It seems that she's popular enough. I guess Doctor Who magazine a while ago, however long ago, had a poll like fan magazines always do. They have a poll: who's the best character? Who's that best villain? Best episode? Best season? Whatever. And she was, for all time, like going back to the beginning of the series, second favorite for a couple of different polls. I don't know if that stands. It's certainly my opinion. And although, to be fair, it shifts. I'm a big fan of Sarah Jane from the old days. I'm a big fan of whoever, Tegan or Jamie, or you could go on. It shifts depending on your mood, or depending on what you've seen recently, or depending on what you're looking to get out of it. But yeah, Catherine Tate, for my money, for the best of the new series, hands down. I can see why anybody else would like Rose. I could see why anybody would like Martha. I could see why anybody would like Amy. I understand there's a bit of a huge divide on Clara, which I like. And for Bill, I can see why people like Bill. Although I think it's a lot of unrealized potential for Bill. I think there's a lot of unrealized potential for Clara. Was a lot of different directions, and I think there's a lot of unrealized potential with Martha. But I liked them all generally fairly well. I loved Mickey. I wanted more from Mickey. Rory, I thought, was some very strong choices for Rory's character, Rory's arc. Wilf wasn't in the show long enough at all. Bernard Cribbins was a masterful actor for a great character that worked so well with Donna as her grandfather. I loved all that, and I wanted more. But Donna, fantastic, and for all time, I'm on board with that. I'm absolutely on board with that. And to have her come back after a reasonably good appearance with Runaway Bride, funny, silly, very over the top in parts, very cartoony. They do something similar, but with an eye for future episodes in her return to the series Partners in Crime, the beginning of season 4. And I loved that. And the music brought it all together. The monster of the week element was not so much monster of the week, but technically kind of mad scientist story. Well, I want to look at it. I want to watch it again. I want to have a review for Partners in Crime. It was a lot of fun the way this started off. So often now we see that something happened before the credits and then the credits. It's how the series came back, and then it got away from it. I'm not sure what I like best. I do like a little teaser, but I don't want it done all the time. So to have this start off with the grand opening sequence, new season, Partners in Crime, Russel T. Davies, a golden era. And here's Donna. I'm probably reading too much into it, but she's got something on her mind, and the doctor's moving along. No, they're separate though. This matched action series of sequences it leaves you wondering, are they together? Are they not together? They're approaching at this from different ways, or they're not working together. Wait a minute, they just coincidentally are working on the same thing. This plays into the season's overarching idea. If you give a phrase to each season, while the darkness seems to be partly the growing darkness, the coming darkness in season 4 seems to be part of it. Really, it's the Dr. Donna concept. They played this, the obesity story, some of the write-ups on the episode. Oh, they brought in the issue of obesity. Well, okay, great. Oh, so okay. If I read something where the original plan was to have a character named Penny, and sort of had a bit of charm between the doctor and her, but then Catherine Tate, the idea to use Catherine Tate came back, and everything was rewritten, I guess. But Penny was the name of the character that I understand, and that's the journalist, the skeptical journalist, looking for what's behind the facade of adipose industries. Okay, great line. I love this coming up. He's up in the projector room. The doctor is. The health Safety Film Department. That's wacky. I love that. That's silly. That's very much David Tennant, and even a bit of what we would see in Matt Smith's era too. You could probably see Peter Capaldi doing the same thing. Okay, you could probably see almost any of the modern doctors. Such a nasally voice. So you really are wary of Miss Foster. Horn glasses and all. I think she's marvelous. This is a cute little interplay. The woman that flirts with the doctor, from Adipose, who sits up and takes notice and just tells the doctor anything he needs to know because she's impressed by him. And she's talking on the phone, looking at the doctor and flirting with him as she's interacting with the phone call. Yeah, the head of the whack-a-mole. She's up looking at the printers in the cube farm. There's the doctor. They're just tens of feet away. It's played for laughs, but later in the season, you understand the purpose for that is the synchronicity of the universe bringing the doctor and Donna Noble together, always bringing them together. So this is Yeah, there's a reason for that. Yeah, fine, there's a reason for it. We want to see this, silly back and forth, and she's ducking so she isn't seen, so the doctor doesn't see her in this part. Cube farm, yes, very stern management. And he's stopped because the girl gives him her number. Yeah. And they just miss each other. It's all played for laughs, and you could buy it with her because she's a comedy actress, she's a comedian. Yep, here's my ID. Don't look at it. And she's not so brash, but this is because she's got a direction she's looking to go. And she's charming. She's charming. And, she still has this element of brashness, but she's on a goal. She's on a path. And here's the other silly part. Not the other, but another. So, yeah, well, what's interesting about this? Well, I'm losing weight, and my weight loss is connected to my the burglar alarm that keeps going off the same time every night. Bang on the dot without fail. When you think about it, why would anybody even volunteer this information? But it's the doctor, you feel comfortable giving everything away to this guy. He's just got that attitude, and he says the right thing. It's all very quick. It's not an actual conversation. It's a conversation, but they're in one location, then this next location, then this cutting quickly to these other locations. So everything runs by quickly. It could have been done all in one room, but these shots of right in front of the cat flap, at the table, outside to see the burglar alarm. So everything, it's got a good pace. It's got a very good pace. And Donna has this suspicion. Okay, takes out that pendant. Can't quite tell, but I think, yeah, she does. She does do something. She kind of twists it, so she inadvertently leads to the death of Stacy Campbell. They do not, to my recollection, they really do not focus on that at all. And I think Donna would. In fact, maybe this episode goes really fast. And we can't dwell on this other stuff that, you assume. Yeah, here's Madcap Doctor. See, there's something very Doctor Who about the doctor running, and he's got a long, full, I guess it's called a frock coat. And the tails just go flying back behind him, very Tom Baker, very John Pertwee, very... That's what Doctor Who is. It's coats flying back as you run like the blazes. So they got alarms. I guess I didn't think about that much. It's just security for one company, but they have vehicles with flashing blue lights. Or were they really the cops that were also going? They are cute. They are cute. One of the complaints of the story was, I think the adipose aren't very scary monsters. Well, they're not really supposed to be. it's not it's not the aliens, these aliens that you're supposed to worry about. It's how they're being used. It's who's behind it all, which is sort of the part of the theme of the season. Who's behind all of this? It's the Davies. It's Davros. Spoiler warning for something that's been around since for over 10 years now. Yeah, the doctor's looking. Yeah, that's creepy. See, that is creepy with all these cute little fat babies, literally fat babies. Well, she got through the door, even though it was locked, pushed it hard enough. She's tenacious. And she sees the little adipose jump out the window. Huh? But not totally creepy, weirded out. Okay, yeah, here he is. You know, you think he'd almost get hit by a car at one point. All this running around, looking at his machine, banging on it, blowing on it to get the fuzz out of it, presumably. Yeah, okay, so it is not the police, it is the private security for adipose, where they've got badges, but I don't know why I'm thinking about that. Yeah, she's hot on the tail of the adipose thing. Now she's kind of running. One presumes because, look, I'm not running everywhere. You got me in these shoes and all these. I'm not running until I sweat. I'm not running until my feet fall off. Get the shot. I'm right here. I'm running here. Whereas David Tennant just seems to go all out because he's crazy. But it works for Donna. She's got that look like, what the hell is going on here? But he was looking at the car. He wasn't distracted. Yeah, he must have sweat like an absolute, with all that suit and the jacket and the tie and always running. And they still just keep missing each other. And the little sad piano, they're 100 feet away, 50 feet away. And they lost whatever they were looking for. And they didn't even know they were looking for each other, and they lost each other. The bluff. This is where we see Miss Foster looking at the videotape and saying, we see Donna, we see the doctor, and we don't see who she actually suspects is the thief. So she says, there she is. We think she's looking at Donna. She's actually looking at Betty. I just gave it away. Yeah, the other thing, she comes home, and there's her mom. See, a friend of mine is also kind of like Donna, and she has an interesting relationship with her mother, kind of like Donna and Sylvia. This is it. This is again. So you're having this conversation. Now it's all in the same room, but Sylvia, they fade from one part of the conversation to the next, but it sounds like it's all happening at once. So she's putting the dishes away here. She's washing this, drying this. And she's just being a bitch. But she's revealing, okay, she did have a job at health and safety. Didn't last. She got the ID and she left. That's what her plan was. If she has a fake ID or a expired ID, she can do her investigations. Yeah, it's cutting along. Okay, voice over the action that's going on to speed things along, and here she gets to see Wilf, and we've seen Wilf before. We just saw him in the Christmas special that precedes this. And she has a different attitude, very very relaxed and affectionate. With how could you not have an affectionate relationship with your grandfather if your grandfather was Bernard Crimmins like this? I don't know how you couldn't. He's this delightful fella. Oh, I wish he was my, I mean, I've got some good uncles, but I wish he was my uncle or grandfather. Or, I'm a sucker for this. I really, really am. It's, they seem to have such a great relationship that makes the characters really work, and they are a little bit opposed on the outs, or up against Sylvia, his daughter, her mother. She just looks up like she's like it's almost there. I really wish there could be something like that, I think. I don't know what I'd do if I actually saw something that was the amazing doorway to everything. Hear that sound. See, even what we've seen about Donna before, this side of her, she's being very upfront about it. She can clearly tell her granddad exactly what's on her mind and exactly how she feels, for the most part. Won't tell him the complete truth about that blue box. Hey, same old story. He's happy, but she says, yeah, it's not like that. And we all have to accept the fact that, surprise, surprise, the doctor doesn't have a romantic interest in one of his companions, or his companion doesn't have a romantic interest with him. It's almost, I mean, it is played for laughs throughout here. Oh, no, we're not. No, never. Yeah, this story about her as a little girl, the way he tells it. And he's telling the story, and then he's asking a bit, this is what he's really asking about her. So look, everything that's happened to you. Where's our girl? Where is she? What's going on? You're going to be okay, huh? What are you? And she's just confident she's going to find her friend, her best friend, the man who would be her best friend. And she's missing something, and we see that he's missing something. He just talks like he normally would, but Martha's not there, and Rose isn't there. He's talking to somebody, but because it's out of habit, and he wants somebody to be there. And now it's all alone. And that blue car, that's a nice blue. Close enough to TARDIS blue. She's in her vehicle, he's in his. I love the fact that he's got a mallet. I love that the mallet is instrumental to operating the TARDIS. Yeah. And just misses again. They both park in pretty much the same place. She would have heard that though, and wanted her to hear that. She'll be close. She'll run into him soon enough. I love how the sonic screwdriver opens locks and sparks fly everywhere. I suppose it's a better effect. They don't have to paint anything on with the blue wavy lines like they did with the previously with the Echoes. Well, there's the blue light, but not wavy lines and all that. That was just a blue light. Hide in the toilet. So we really worry. It's 9:30 in the morning, And now it's 6:10, 6:09. And everybody go away. She was sitting in the toilet the whole time. Hope she brought a snack bar or something. Yeah, okay, she's stretching her legs and stretching her neck and what? We don't realize that somebody else is hiding in the toilet, hiding in the bathroom. She really talks to, it's funny because the man who played Sylvia's husband, Donna's dad, was sadly died while they were filming this, and they brought in Wilf. Well, we're in the privilege to be Wilf. But the line is still very similar to what she would say to her husband. And so we're, you know, she's saying this to her father, hush you, up the hill you go. Yeah, I believe she'd say that to her dad, though, too. So, two guys with guns. Now, they must not be human either. Miss Foster is not human. She's space human. So these two must be space humans or something else. Because they have guns. People in England don't have guns. And here we are. Now we see there's Penny. She's the one they were after. Donna's safe. And we get a villain able to monologue. This is probably my favorite part of the episode, and with very good reason. We're not even halfway through. Oh, it's all been building. That's what works. It moves at such a good pace. Not in a bad way. It feels like we should be 2/3 of the way through the episode or more. Yet, the Doctor and Donna have not. They've crossed paths. They have not met. Well, there's the effect. You can see it now. Now it's not so much. I don't know. I guess I really like the fact that he's got carries a stethoscope to listen in on things and to check in on technology and through the concrete wall. Okay, space stethoscope must be. Now, the artwork behind Miss Foster is either really abstract, but it must be, because it looks like they made it for this. So it must represent something that they just didn't reference or do. I'm sure she's actually much younger than she looks. Yeah. The music creeps up and higher and slightly more intensity as all of this gets revealed, and as we see the Doctor and Donna peeking in and eavesdropping more and more. It's like they're not moving, but the music is telling us this is all getting closer and closer. Yes. And she peeks up, and then he peeks up. It's probably too much, but I loved it. Here we go, and it's a double take, and she, and they got to mime it. I still laugh. He says Donna, and she says Doctor. What? And she gives the, oh my God. How? It's me. Yeah, I can see it's you. I can see that. She's overdoing it just a little bit, but you have to. What the hell are you doing there? Looking for you. And Yeah, the mime typing is a little broad. It's weird. Yes, Donna would think it's weird. Weird shit. She's really in much more control with things now. And there's you. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, she mid mime and her tongue is sticking out. It is silly, but I don't care. I love it. Run! You don't hear a word. And he protects her, and then through the window, and up he goes with the bucket. There we go. He runs in. She runs up. And I love the music. It's great chase-like music. That door ain't going anywhere. Down the steps. Boom! I don't know why, but that just seemed to, I didn't think that line, I don't know why. Yeah, Donna, thanks, not right now. It stood out as really affected, I guess. Yeah, that's where the doctor is. Just look for trouble, so. She's gone from not seeing anything and therefore not believing in anything, and she believes everything. Except for the Titanic replica, that's bullshit. There she is. This is Donna. What do you mean, that thing? Yeah. I like this. Yeah, we're going to be fine. Obviously, we're going to be fine unless she's got a sound device of her own. That's not going to happen. Yeah, there it is. So from all of this other side of Donna that we see, which fits, I think fits very well. She's got a depth to her, especially at the end of Runaway Bride. She had that earnest conversation with the doctor. A lot of cartoony things going on in here, and it goes right up to the end, essentially. Yeah, this is Donna. We're gonna smash it. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. She would grab a wrench, a spanner, and then start banging on the window, but it's evidently shatterproof. Always hate somebody falling off and instantly grabbing the, but that's the way it is. And she's frustrated with them again. Yeah. Think fast, Pally. But the music is confident. The music is quieter and more assured. A little bit more intensity. And there, it's solved. Do, 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 do. Yeah, victory. Well, of sorts. Temporary victory. Initial victory. And there's fans that complain, oh, the girls always scream and all that. And I believe this. I believe that but Donna's so smart and she's or tenacious. When she says stuff like this, no, it totally works. Yeah, she's afraid she's going to fall from this huge height. So she does scream a bit, and she is a little bit pissed off that he got her into this, even though she followed him. That's Donna. That's Donna Noble. I'd scream if I was hanging from a wire like that. Shit. I probably wouldn't tell the doctor it was his fault. Afterwards, oh yeah, I could give him both barrels. Yeah. See, now there's no way any of this works with the way the window opens up, you know. And he's holding onto her ankles, and now she's in the window. But I don't care. Yeah, I was right. It was always like this with you. She's pissed, and then she's grinning again. Everything is quick. Everything happens. Now there's a bit of a pause, the showdown. Well, it wasn't quick with her and her grandfather. That was a nice breather, and that was nice getting to know him and her a little bit more again. Another one that I liked. Another moment that just brought a smile to my face. Not that, but I do like the sleek comment. Oh, it's definitely sleek. So it's an interesting idea. A foster mother, a wet nurse, a space wet nurse. Another through line. How do you lose a planet? Such a weird idea. I don't think it was seeded quite properly the way through the season. This is a good way to start it. There's a couple good points later on, but yeah. Yeah, are you threatening? You threatening me? Hey, come on, you threatening me? My horn-rimmed glasses say no. Here we are. Do you know what happens? Well, they don't like the idea. Let's find out. Something the doctor doesn't know, but he's willing to find out because his back is against the wall and they need to go. And there, that's it. I just had to pause. With all of that happening, just like in the Runaway Bride, when the doctor was dealing with the spider things, the arachnos, and he exploded all the walls and the water, the piping, and there's this huge flooding. And then Donna urges him to, come on, it's enough, let's go. Here, he's doing the thing with the two sonic devices and everything's, the glass is breaking and all that. And she doesn't say anything, or except for, come on, she pushes him to get him, okay, that's enough. let's go. That's Donna. Premature labor. Well, that's a funny line, isn't it? Maybe it wasn't intended to be, but everything's a little silly and clowny, and that's fine. They just caught Penny again, and she takes it seriously. Oh, you're kidding me. So then that works, and now Doctor and Donna are running like mad. Now this is just the hurry, galloping fast, throw everything out of there, and we got to get to the fake wall. And so triple deadlock, two sonic devices, two sonic screwdrivers can get through it. More of the case of, here we hear the Shadow Proclamation referred to again. But the sonic screwdriver, it can do anything. And then when they need it not to, something's deadlocked. And now they say, okay, here's something deadlocked, but it's triple deadlocked. It's different than a deadlock. Did he kill the two guards with the electric shock? Are they human, space human, non-human? I wonder who did the voice for that. So now a conversation's happening and something is apparently going on. The doctor's, hurriedly trying to get through, and he gets to go through some history and let Donna know what happened since he last saw her. Martha Jones. Yeah. And Rose. So it's all sad for him. And then he wonders about her. Yeah, you were gonna travel the world. And that's where this is where she's got to regret. She says, yeah, I was gonna, I didn't, and it was the next day, and it was just me. But she's more than that, and she doesn't ever think of herself that way. And the doctor sees her as more than that. Yeah, you can tell they're clearly friends or destined to be good friends. They can tell each other the truth that hurts. To come with you, to come with me. He just repeats the line, and she takes it as an invitation, and it's supposed to be funny, and yet, well, she's going to be with him, so we want that to happen, but he has this reluctance. Luckily, he does say something about the reluctance later on, which acknowledges maybe he's acknowledging his problem with women. Now, this bar seems like it comes right out of Coupling, which is funny to me because Sylvia's friend was in Coupling. She plays the woman whose daughter was dating Patrick, and I think she had dated Patrick and got older. So she's a funny. She's got comic timing. And actually, I can't remember. Jacqueline King is the one who plays Sylvia. She's good. In fact, she's got to be good because she's believable as, oh my God, what's all this stuff? And she's really believable as a total bitch mom. They don't really ever deal with her. She's just a force of nature, and that's the way she is until the end of Tennant's run, where Donna's life is sorted out, and she's just not as much of a bitch. Not that you need her to have an arc or anything like that, but you kind of want her to be. You want her to see her daughter for what the doctor sees her for. And for whatever reason, she doesn't. Why? Why is that? Is it because she's got regrets over her own life and she takes it out on her daughter? This is what I think. This is what it's like with my friend. I think, in my friend's case, her mom is really jealous of her daughter's strength. And it's not so much a vindictiveness as she doesn't like that as one of her shortcomings. And she admires and respects it and envies it and is bitterly envious. And then it comes out sideways to anybody else. So I think that's what Sylvia is. I think Sylvia, circumstances are bad, and she gets upset because she can't handle them. And she's a tough woman, but at least she doesn't think she can handle them. And she thinks her daughter can handle them much better. And she may be right, but she may be selling herself short. The same way Donna sells herself short. Yeah, and the mad panic, the doctor can't do it. He can't do it. He can always do anything unless it's important that he can't. And in this case, it's important to show that the doctor needs Donna. Donna can supplement all the things the doctor can't do, or some of the things the doctor can't do, or that little bit of human, that little bit of gut instinct that comes from planet Earth. he's angry and scared because he can't save them. I can't save them, and that's a classic Doctor characteristic. Definitely for Tennant. He's manic, and here this is almost too slow. I don't like that, but it's a good reveal, and there's that zoom pan back. And he realizes, yeah, you did. Whoa, hey, fantastic. And she did it instinctively. She took it. Here's the triumphant music. Do 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 do. And it's just people not dying. And so the music is over triumphant, but it makes up for the fact that dying, not dying, dying, not dying. What happened? Something not happening in the room. Something that isn't happening with all these people going on. The music covers for that. It's done nice. I love Murray Gold's music. I love his music, and when it's good, Murray Gold has got some fantastic music. Very iconic. Works well with. He is the John Williams of Doctor Who. And now the woman just gets to go away. Miss Foster just gets to leave. We got enough babies. Nobody really died, as far as we know. For the most part, nobody died. Let's go. Yeah, she's good. She is good for a character you're supposed to not like. Very close encounters of the third kind. I love Wilf normally always sees all this stuff, you aliens, and now he can't hear a damn thing, and this is what he's always looking for, and it's right behind him. And he's all happy. All the baby little adiposes, adiposes, Moses supposes, adiposes, noses. Sorry. Who can't appreciate Singing in the Rain? I got to do a Singing in the Rain reference. I'm sure it's been done many, many, many times before. This episode's older than 10 years. 11 years old? That sound, the tractor beam sounds hostile. Sounds boom. That isn't fits, but it my initial reaction is that's a different sound than you would assume. Have a delicious smoothie. More running in this hallway. That one hallway is where the running happens. I'm back on the roof again, but the other side of the roof. And this cute little part, all the flow. Yes, so yeah. Yeah, Martha must have done you good. Good line coming up. She fancied me. Mad Martha, that one. Charity Martha. That's Donna. Teasing her friend. Friend she let go. Didn't know she needed as much as she did. And this is a silly bit. She's just hanging in the air. Why does nobody else ever live in? Well, it always happens that way. It's dramatic conflict. He wants to save everybody. That is a nice element that has come into the series. The Doctor wants to save everyone, even the people that instigated all the crap that happened. And this tractor beam anti-gravity thing allows you to do the Wile E. Coyote bit. She hangs in the air. Huh? What? Huh? Yikes! You want her to hold up a sign that says yikes. I want her to hold up a sign that says yikes. And there he goes. Boom. And what does he do? He throws the thing in the garbage. I suppose, but... And then Penny shows up still tied up to the chair, which is funny. Funny. And Donna has a funny return. Some people just can't take it. And some people can. She's been waiting for this for a long time. Hot weather, cold weather, no weather. She's ready. And he's looking at her. She's halfway in and she's all ecstatic and hasn't been this happy probably in her whole life. And he tells her it gets really complicated, or at least it has for him. And it's kind of sad. And he says, "Yeah, no, I don't want to be on my own. I gotta." And he admits, this is where he admits to himself out loud the Martha thing. And then the mate gag. I think her wrist. A little heavy-handed. That's all she had to say. You're not mating with me, sunshine. She did. I don't think she needed to say underscore it. You just want to mate. I don't think she needed to do that at all. I think that was poorly written. She's a strong enough actress. She can accomplish the misunderstanding. He just downplays it, and then now he's excited. Yeah, you've just been saying how you desperately want to be here, but now you're just running away. Because she's got to get rid of her keys, but more importantly, she has to have a run-in, a near miss with the episode's secret. They didn't show this in the press preview. They didn't show the. They didn't show that to her. She puts the car keys in for her mom in the garbage. Probably it's this part. Maybe this whole sequence was taken. But we know it's Rose. And the Rose music. It's instantly sad. But the thing that gets me, the thing that tugs on my heartstrings, it always has in this episode. Well, the not wanting to go and all that, yeah. But the part where she gets to go over the hill. The heating line seems to be supposed to be important for some reason, but I don't know. And it's partly the music and partly because Bernard Cribbins is fantastic. He sees them. He sees it in the air, in the sky. And he's ecstatic that he's found something and he can help his granddaughter. And he looks up, and it is his granddaughter. I'm a sucker. I'm a sap for this stuff. Absolutely. Anybody else wouldn't have been able to do this. He's dancing on his own. Oh, you're happy for her. You're happy for him, and he's beside himself. Oh, that is one of my favorites. Just some enjoyable moments all the way through, and good character moments with the doctor as well. Tennant does a great part. Certainly, Catherine Tate, my favorite, and Bernard Cribbins. It's I know it's just a time travel show. It's silly, but that sort of thing it chokes me up now and again, and in such a wonderful way. I love it. I wish the show could be this good again. I really do. And there's been some time since then when it has. I think there's been a remarkable couple of bits in Matt Smith's era and Capaldi's era. I always like the idea, and this is for another time. I always like the idea that the Doctor could be brusque and even a little bit edgy or hostile or aggravated. We saw it with William Hartnell. To a certain extent, you saw it with a little bit with John Pertwee, and it came out with Tom Baker. Not as much with Peter Davison. It did, but Colin Baker, it did. There was I don't want to say ruthlessness. Certainly, there's that in part of the Doctor at times too, but this roughness, and that came back with Eccleston and Tennant, and not nearly as effective in the same way with Matt Smith, but Capaldi, had it in spades, and he still liked him. He still loved him. But again, that's a look at Doctor Who for another time. This was Partners in Crime, the season opener for season 4 of Doctor Who, with David Tennant and Catherine Tate among my favorites. Until next time, I appreciate you listening, appreciate your attendance. Thanks for tuning in. Talk to you later.